Hey y'all, just waiting to see who comes in, and if you guys tune into this later, this is Miss Mother Trucker. I'm sitting here waiting to get loaded. It's supposed to be a drop-in hook, but it's a protein load, not the fun kind. Kind of goes in the trailer. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and we're waiting for that to get ready, and it won't be until late tonight. And I haven't done a live in quite a while. I don't even know if anyone's going to come in, but I figured I'd go ahead and say hi to y'all. Can I get you as a trainer? No, honey, I do not train any longer. Those days are so far past, so gone. Not doing it again. I just have been going. My dad's been sick. Hi, honey. How are you doing? He got pneumonia, ended up in the hospital. I hope you are doing. Yeah, I'm doing okay. It's been really financially crippling here at Prime. I don't even want to get into it. But my father has been sick. He got pneumonia. He's in his 80s, and my parents were truck drivers too. We're career truck drivers. So Dad got pneumonia. My mom went into the room. To make a long story short, she went into the room. Dad was holding on to the door jamb, and he was about to hit the ground. Okay, I'll answer these in a little while. So anyway, he ended up having to go to the hospital. He had pneumonia, and at his age it caused a lot of weakness in his body, and so he had to go into rehab, and that didn't he was in the rehab center for about a week, and he was getting better. And then my mom goes in the other day, just 2 days ago, and they said, oh, your husband fell, and he's confused. And my mom started talking to him. He's slurring, just everything, just slur, and he's in this in-house rehabilitation center. And my mom's looking at his face, and it seems fine, but he can't do anything hardly with his left side, like hold something, or he's really weak. And Mom goes, what's wrong with him? She's thinking stroke, and they're like, oh, we don't know, he seems fine. She goes and she calls my sister, who's a nurse practitioner. She says, get an ambulance, get him to the hospital. They do. My dad had a stroke, and it went all the way down at his brain stem, and what the hell? That is just effing ridiculous. And they didn't catch it? They're a fucking rehab center, dog. What the hell? So anyway, now he's back in the hospital. They took him from the rehab center to the hospital, and that's where they did the MRI or whatever, and they found out. But they missed that 6-hour window. They still think he's going to make a full recovery. But what scares me, and I don't know about y'all, and my sister and a few other people have expressed the same thing, is a lot of times they'll have a minor stroke, they'll go in the hospital, they seem to be doing great, and then you hear, we were all talking to him last night, sitting around, everyone was joking, and then the next day, it is, you know what I'm saying. So anyway, I'm just a little stressed, and that's one of the things, y'all, we have to do as truck drivers is, we're not always there for our loved ones. We're not always able to get home. Not only stuff like, the stroke that my dad just had, but birthdays, anniversaries, Christmas. A lot of these things we miss because we're out here making a living, and as hard as it is right now, I mean, I have not had a check except for one, and it all went to all the maintenance I've been doing on this truck. But other than that, last check was $47. This is me out here full time. $47 to my account. Check before that was $180, but $2,000 of it went to $2,000. It would have been $2,000 something. It went towards my tires and my brakes and all that stuff. The check before that was like $140. And understand, I have not taken home time. I've only taken, 2 home times in 5 years? So, and it's not like I don't run. I'm running my ass off. So, in 6 weeks, outside of the check that paid for the maintenance on the truck, I have not had a check that hit $200. Dude, that was a table dance for me back in the day, you know? Damn, I had to become an owner-operator. Yeah, you know, the way I see it, my truck will be paid off in 14 months. This truck will be paid for. Won't owe a dime on it. And it is a 2024 with 200 and something thousand miles on it. So, you know, I'm holding on because I went to another company. Me and my truck went to another company. Hey, Vic. From driver lineup says everything is great at Prime. Well, I'm glad he's doing good, you know. I really am. But most of the drivers I'm talking to, and, you know, there's a lot of drivers out there trying to get those recruiting dollars. I'm not saying that Eric's not doing just fine. I hope he is. You know, and I think, and I've been on like a Prime Uncensored. There's another guy that's Western Regional. He's doing between $4,500 to $6,000 gross a week. So out of that, he's going to make between $1,800 and $2,500 a week with that kind of revenue. And that's my normal revenue, but I haven't seen that in 6 weeks. I know some drivers have, some haven't. I'm not going to blow smoke up people's ass to get them to come to Prime. I tell people, don't. Let me see. I want to become an owner-operator. Hope you can get you as a mentor. We don't do mentors at Prime, sweetie. David G. Wright, that's what I say. How am I surviving? I had a lot of money in savings. I don't anymore. Now my savings are depleted. I used to have $50,000, $60,000 in savings. Not a big deal. I lived on my truck. I bought properties here and there, did everything cash. Now I have some debt, not a lot. All my bills altogether are less than $4,000 a month. That used to not even be a paycheck for me as a trainer. But when I quit training, wasn't just because I had a psycho fucking student, as y'all knew. But it was, I was just tired of it. And I was paying my students more than I was making. Would I become a trainer? Would I recommend someone becoming a trainer? Hell no. But there's a lot of people out there just trying to make it as trainers. But I'm sorry. Nothing's more demoralizing when you're paying your student more than you make. And you're telling, you're telling just, hey, tell sales, I need a team load. And they're giving you solo loads and telling you, oh, well, too fucking bad. Pound salt, motherfucker. I don't think so. You know, that dog don't hunt. But I love Prime that's my Prime. I like my dispatcher. I like my payroll lady. I like my weekend dispatcher, Laura. We have, and I like my live load call people. We have some good people. Sales just has not been doing right by me. Um, I've talked to my dispatcher. I said, hey, this has got to change. I can't keep doing this. I cannot make a living like this. We gotta do something here. So, we're just gonna have to wait and see how it goes. It is what it is. I mean, there's a lot of crazy shit going on out in the world right now, but have you guys been shopping at Walmart lately? Oh my God. Trash bags went from 11 something for 120 bags to $22. Holy crap. Just everything has gotten so outrageous. It's unreal. And then, I was a military wife for years. Anyone who knows my channel knows I'm married to a Green Beret, and my husband got wounded, all that stuff. And I was almost 18 years a military wife, 16 to be precise, a little over 16. And now I got nephews in the military and all this, and I 100% support our company. So, I don't do any of this negative United States shit, and I'm supporting Israel. And I support legalized immigration. I think people should come here legally. I am really glad they're getting a lot of these non-English speaking drivers off the road. Are you single, Miss Mother Trevor? Yeah, I'm single, honey. But I'm getting a lot of, I'm glad we're seeing a lot of these drivers that don't speak English no longer on the road. When's that going to affect? January? That's something like that. But anyway, we're going to see a lot of the freight prices go up because we don't have all those people bringing our freight prices down. Because a lot of the foreign companies, they were sending these drivers in, not paying them crap. And then, of course, they can't read our signs. They're getting in wrecks. A lot of them never even had a CDL. They were just given one at the company from the country they come from. Oh, you'll be with trainer. Yeah. But let's get real about that, though. Okay? Some real talk. We do the same damn thing at Prime. Swift does the same damn thing. All these training companies do the same thing. They send a student right out with a trainer. Trainer takes them on the pad for a couple days and then takes them out. But these guys are getting no real training. None. They're just being, they can drive a car where they come from. They put them on the truck. They don't know how to do a pre-trip. They don't know how to back properly. They kind of learn on the road like we do. But they're not trained to the same standards that we are in America. I think if you come here, you should have to get your CDL in the United States. Then, of course, there was them jackasses in Florida handing out CDLs right now. Oh, by the way, guys, lost. My weight is down, y'all. I don't know if y'all can see, but I have lost a shitload of weight. Finally get back in shape. And that's another thing that, with this career, and if you're thinking of coming into it, truckers live an average of 15 years less than the national average. So if the national average is, 75 for a man, 60. And for a woman, I think is 80, 65. So and it's a lot of it's because there's just not a lot. You're sedentary. You're sitting there all the time. You're looking at a lot of these. When we're out here, we're looking at these truck drivers. I mean, it's sad. There's some fat motherfuckers out here. Excuse my language. There are some morbidly obese people. And, fat is beautiful. No, I don't think so. The dog don't hunt. There is nothing lovely about being fat. And I can say that because I was a fat bitch. Okay, I got to over 300 pounds. I've lost over half my body weight. Okay, you know, there's nothing. When you're obese, you have a higher risk of cancer, higher risk of lung disease, higher risk of diabetes, higher risk of high blood pressure, sleep apnea. Your chances to die early are so amplified. And as truckers, I mean, we're so sedentary. When you go somewhere, park that motherfucking truck. Park it. Get out and walk. Trucking along with Kirsty means to work. No, trucking along with Kirsty, my hat's off to that girl. I'm sorry. I think she's looking fucking fabulous. She has lost a shit ton of weight. And people are getting on her for when she left Prime, she's trying to burn the company down. She ain't lying about shit. It's rough. And to me, you know, and understand, I'm sure Swift's doing the same thing a lot of these companies are. How is the Volvo treating? Volvo's treating me real good. I mean, I've had to do some maintenance on it, but not a big deal. My APU's had some mess ups, but Prime has turned to me, and so Swift and a few of these others. It seems like they've become a lease and a, you know, company for leasing trucks and a finance company for financing and selling trucks. And if you're familiar with what a loss leader is, it's something that brings people in, but isn't where they make their money. It feels like to me at these companies, these mega carriers, the freight is their loss leader. It's the bait. And when you first start, you first get here, your first month or so, they're giving you loads. You're making bank. And then you're not. So, you know, when I see others making a lot of money, and I'm like, and I'm not, one or two things is happening. They're lying out their damn ass, or, you know, they get along with their salespeople, you know. And I used to have a guy on the sales deal, and we're not allowed really to know who our salespeople are just for that reason, but let's face it, it happens. And, guys, I'm having to give my nails a rest, and I left this one on. I just cut it short. I'm waiting for the nail bed to totally grow out. I do it once a year. And then when it does, and I have healthy nail beds again, I wear nails for a year, and, you know, like that. So, I'm sorry for my stubby little fingers, but it is what it is. But, no, I just feel that right now with the economy the way it is, that they are, you know, a lease company and a finance company for truckers. That's how I feel it is. Do I think it's going to turn around? Yeah, because we're enforcing laws where you have to speak English. You know, you have to have legitimate CDLs. And they're pulling a lot of these green cards from some of these workers, where we start putting truckers to work again. And the beautiful trucking. Oh, you are so sweet. Thank you, darling. So, to me, we have to do this because these companies have driven our freight rates down so much. And it's not that the brokers aren't charging the shippers that more money. They are. But it's just not passing on to us. And when there is not as many drivers out there, you know, you're going to start seeing freight rates going up. When you don't have these foreign companies bidding us down, we're going to make more money. So what's it like where y'all are working, and how many of y'all are truckers still? That are you in the trucking gang? And are you making money at the companies you're at? Let me see. P.S. Gladson. beautiful trucking queen. That is so sweet. I have 1 month OTR flatbed with a trainer, but trainer was horrible, so I quit. Trust, my training experience was so poisonous and horrible, and I thought Prime had fired this guy because they got sued over him, a class action suit because of him. And I was, at the terminal, and I was walking through, and I just, hair stood up on the back of my neck, and I was like, honey, I turned around, who did I see? My old trainer. I started shaking. My knees went weak. I almost fainted. And I just looked at him. I said his name real quick, and I walked to the table. I got 3,400 miles last week, 2,500 this week, but taking Friday and Saturday off. Awesome! That's cool, Truman. One thing, I live on my truck full time. I rented out my house to this lovely lady, my place in Arizona, but I'm just on my truck full time. I love living on my truck. Y'all, I got a sink on my truck now with running water and all that stuff, and I am going to do a video about that. Let me see. I'll show y'all real quick. Okay, let's see if you can see it. Right. Child, I needed some running water because I don't know about you. Like, I'll go in and I'll take my shower in the evening. But when I get up in the morning, honey, I want to brush my teeth. And I don't want to sit in the parking lot and go, no. We ain't playing that. So, and I don't want to go brushing my teeth in front of a bunch of people in the ladies' room that I don't hunt either. So, with this, of course, cooking, I cook all the time on the truck. It's nice to have that sink to, like, if you're draining food. And I'm trying to eat healthier. I'm still not totally eating healthy. Like, this here is fried Spam. I love fried Spam. It's one of my little, and it is processed to the hill. I'm trying to eat more whole foods and stuff like that. But I still make, different things. And I bake rolls in my oven and things like that. I like cooking on the truck. Everyone's like, oh, she just cooks, but I do cook a lot of Mexican food because I love it. I'll make enchiladas. I'll even make lasagna, which is Italian, or I'll make spazzo with schnitzel. Just different food on the truck. I love to cook. I love to eat. And I'm trying to set the truck up where it's a lot easier, a lot more homey. I no longer have my dinette. It's here, but it's underneath the bed. Eating healthy, but far Spam, because I know, but it's so good, and I don't eat it that often. But it's something like if you are making something else, it's nice to have something like that. And I do eat a lot of jerky too. But I am trying to get healthier, stay healthier. I eat a lot of fresh fruits, vegetables, like I got lettuce in a bag here for making salads. I have grapes. I have cherries, all kinds of stuff, fresh fruit and stuff in my fridge because, I do like eating healthier. I want to live longer. And y'all saw what a fat damn cow I was. I mean, child, anyone who's followed me since the beginning, and if you haven't, just go back and look at my videos. I was almost 400 damn pounds. So, and now I'm 165. And it's 6 foot, well, I'm not 6 foot anymore. My doctor keeps correcting me, you're only 5'11". So, at 5'11", 165, I could afford to lose probably another 10 pounds. But I'm saving it because I'm going in to get, a little derriere enhancement. Having a little fat stuff from here, so from there, and and pump up the volume, you know. So, and it's not that anyone sees it, y'all, but the thing is when you're out here, do things to make you feel better about you. How you able to manage your time doing YouTube videos while working OTR? It's like 14 hours a day work, right? Okay, I drive about 9 hours a day, 8 hours 45 minutes to 9 hours, because you know you got, I always want to have recaps, and there's always time in the load, even if the load's tight. And then I'm down a few hours, and after I do, how I've been doing it is at the end of the load, I will do a recap on the load. And sometimes when I go in, I used to take the camera in and film in loves and stuff, but because they play music, they always gig my videos and demonetize them and give me a deal, so I don't do that anymore. But I'll sometimes do a video showing me pump fuel. I gotta pump fuel anyway. I will be on my 30-minute break and I'll talk to y'all. Or before at the end of the video, I'll say, hey, this is this. Or if I stop at a pretty rest area, I'll film the rest area, show you the rest area. My videos are kind of about my life, and I've kind of started breaking them up as this is what I did during this load. I'd like to start bringing in more how I live on the truck, like with the sink, cooking on the truck, trying to stay healthy on the truck. And it really doesn't affect my time as far as my work day, you know, because it's, how do y'all, a lot of drivers, they stop for the night, they're playing video games. Me, I watch a little YouTube. I haven't found anything. Have y'all seen anything that's binge-worthy, either on Netflix or HBO or anything? Like, I thought they were going to bring Strange Things back. I don't know how many of y'all watch that. I love that. But they haven't. That's a Netflix series. They brought Handmaid's Tale, but I got rid of Fargo. Yeah, I got rid of Hulu. So, and I'm not getting it back just to see the last deal of Handmaid's Tale. That was good, y'all. If y'all are on Hulu and you haven't watched Handmaid's Tale, binge. That's good. And of course, right now, Matlock is off for the season. Oh, what's that goofy broad? That's was a lawyer, and she's auditing the New York Police Department. Anyway, there's that show. I like watching that. Oh God, Tulsa with what's his name? Arnold Schwarzenegger. Not Arnold Schwarzenegger, but Rocky guy. Sylvester Stallone. That is really good. I was going 13 off OTR with Amazon. No time, nothing. It was crazy. Wow. You can't drive 13 hours though. It's against the law. And what do y'all think about them doing away? They're talking about doing away with the 14-hour clock and all that stuff. And with having to do recaps, and you know, I hope they do. I like the way you say Fargo. But anyway, no, there's so many good shows out there, but I binged them. I wish they would bring back Game of Thrones, and like, you know how they held off Khaleesi at the deal, like the dragon took her off when she was at, and hopefully it shows that she's healing, and you know what I'm saying. Because I really loved Game of Thrones. But of course, and then maybe the Wicked Queen, and who was screwing her brother, they survived and escaped. You know, and then they continue on with the series, because I love Game of Thrones. Oh, did y'all watch Deadwood, the series on HBO? Oh my God, y'all, that was so good. I might rewatch Deadwood. That was a good series. And then they did that prequel of Game of Thrones. Um, but then they haven't had a new season of that. It's like HBO saying, we don't want to survive anymore. You know, we want our network to go bye-bye. They don't have any good series or shows on. That's why people go to HBO. You know, you can catch movies on Netflix or anywhere. Any good new movies out that y'all know about? Oh, there is one that I cannot wait for it to come either on Netflix or wherever. 28 Years Later. It's, remember they had 28 days later and then 28 months later, I think it was. Now they got 28 years later. I want to see that. You lucky, it's 13 hours. Shipper and receivers, you have the logs, the shippers work, receiver work. Yeah, I wish they'd do away with it, because honestly, if I feel like running longer, I want to be able to run longer. I don't want to have to do a 34, because, it's one thing, keep your 14-hour day, but let us run the whole time if we want. And then far as a 72-hour week, screw that. Because, if you're stuck in your truck, you're not getting that rest. And they did that because of the abuse of the trucking companies. But I just don't think it makes it safer at all. But that's just my opinion, y'all. It is what it is. Sorry, guys. I haven't eaten today. I got here. They asked me to drop my trailer and here at my O1 and to go pick up a trailer that was in the shop and bring it here. I get over there. Trailer in the shop won't be ready until next week, so I had to come back over here. And it is what it is. But this load's going to Utah, Salt Lake City, so I want to get that done. But like I said, I have not done a live in so long. Hey, would y'all please hit that like button? It really helps the channel. And right now, I really need my channel to be working. So, there's 14 of y'all in here. It will take nothing for y'all. Just hit that like button. Come on, just hit it for me. I appreciate it. How often do you go to the chiropractor? I don't. I really should go to the chiropractor more often, because, I'm getting old. And I don't want to get that old lady hump, oh, no. And I have, degenerative disc disease as well as, God, it's just past my brain. I guess I'm senile too, right? It's crazy. I would run from that. So, anyway, I am just looking forward to things picking up. I'm a little scared with everything going on in the world. I think it's effing nuts. And I'm glad I have not had to go to Fontana or anything since I've been back Western Regional, because, oh my God, it is a hot mess. Because I'm sorry, I'm not the bitch. No, you stand in front of my truck and you start mobbing it. I saw what happened to Reginald Energy, or whatever his name was, that trucker. They pulled him out and nearly killed him. No, I am going. If you are stupid enough to attack a semi, that's on you. I'm not asking you to jump in front of my truck. You see me coming, no thank you. I'm not dying for you. That is insane. I love the governor of Florida. Oh my God, yes. He's saying, you and the sheriff, you don't have to die. You don't have to be killed. You can drive off. You know, and of course, I'm not some crazy bitch wanting to run down people either. You know, but I support our president 110% what he's doing with the immigration. I think people need to come in legally, and I've talked to a lot of immigrants that are here legally, and they're like, hey, they support it because they went through all the hoops to become citizens. And some people are like, well, there's those people. But one thing I don't support that the president is trying to do is take away, and this ain't a political channel, y'all. It's just with what's going on in our climate, I'm just talking. I'm sorry, if you're born here, I don't care if your parents are immigrants, I don't care if if the mama was in labor or she swam across the Rio Grande. If that baby takes its first breath in the United States, it's a U.S. citizen. Our country was founded on that. Period. Now, I do not believe the baby should be an anchor baby. I think the parents should be able to, go back to your country. That kid can get dual citizenship or whatever and come back to the United States when it's old enough to do it on its own. Or the parents can just let the child go stay with family or whatever. But I do believe if you're born in this country, you're a U.S. citizen, and no one has the right to take that from you. But that's just me. But I also believe you should come here legally. And I also am of the thought, if we are in an industry that is flooded, we should not be handing out work visas to people to come in and work in that industry. It's like, we need doctors. We need nurses. We don't need truck drivers. We need people to work in the fields. Because I don't see any of y'all volunteering to go bust your ass out in the fields. I'm not. There's a lot of real good, hard-working people that are willing to do it. Let them do it. But pay them right, for fuck's sake. Because that's the other side of this coin. A lot of these people that are here illegally, they're being treated like slaves. They're working for pennies. And they're sending that money back home, and I don't believe in that shit either. I came legally and have a green card. And that's awesome. And I bet you speak great English if you're a truck driver. Because if you don't, you won't last. And the thing is I support 100% people coming here legally. And if you're in a job like this, you need to be able to read those damn traffic signs. Hey, Bobby, how you doing, sweetheart? And that's just my opinion. Even though it's right. Right? Y'all, it's been so long since I put on makeup. I didn't put on a lot, but I did put on my brows. Because everyone's like, they comment in my videos because for some reason, I plucked my brows for years. I used to model and I used to go in and brows changed over the years. But this brow is really, really thin and this brow's thicker. And people are like, you only have one brow. No, it's there. You just can't see it. Does that say P.S. God? Is that your name? Godson? P.S. Godson? I love that name. Zane Adams. Oh, that's a cool name. Some of y'all got some cool names. I mean, my name's Miss Mother Trucker on YouTube, but it's Michaela. Very generic. But I like my name. But I hate my initials. Because you know how they go when you go into the shippers and receivers, initial this, initial this. You think you're buying a car or a house. And my initials are MF. Right? Embarrassing. But yeah, I have not done one of these lives in so long, and I just figure it's about time. Let's go ahead and try it. Hey, we got 18 people in here and only 3 likes. Would y'all hit that like button for me? Come on, guys. Let's hit it. Let's get me, it helps my algorithm. And I really need, I got a goal by the end of the year. I want to be over 10,000 subscribers. I need y'all's help. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Hit that like button. Feel free to comment. Let me see. Hope you can bring me in as a trainee just so I can get experience. Oh, honey, I don't train no more. I will never, ever train. I say that now, but, when this truck's paid for, if it hasn't changed and things haven't picked up, I will probably either go over to Mercer or my friend, which was one of my students. He's doing actually pretty good. He owns 2 trucks now. He owns his own trailer. And he was one of my students, and he is out on his own authority. Now, I looked into getting my own authority. There's not, unless you're going to have several trucks, just to be a solo, I just don't see it, because you're not getting those deep discounts. Now that doesn't mean stay at Prime or stay at Swift. There's one company, it's called Mercer. It looks pretty good. Also, RV Tow and Haul. I've been really thinking about that. I'm looking at different things, but when the truck is first paid off, I'm not going to go right into that. I want to buy a house in California cash. And I want to pay my house off in Arizona, a few things. Right now, it is not worth it at all. Trust me. Yeah, I don't think being out on your own authority is worth it right now. I don't think coming into trucking is worth it, actually. Get your MC. Yeah, and when you first get your own authority, you got to let it season. You know what I'm saying? And that helps, like, if you get your own authority and then you come over to Prime, or you go over to Golic, or one of these companies to season your authority, where you can run under your authority. Like, I think Prime, it's called B-Side or whatever, It's where a bunch of people on their own authority are running. The Cook Dog Ranch. Roadrunner Nina seems to be making bank with land. Yeah, and I'm really proud of her. And she bought a beautiful Kenworth. Oh my God, that is so cool. Yeah, I wish her the best. And I know there's a lot of people, no, she's not proud. I'm not watching her videos no more. Why the hell not? If you'd watch her videos before, you might as well watch them now. Just because she went to a company where she's making a lot more money. And that's what it's about. This is a damn job. It's a company I'm leased onto. You trained for 8 years. Yeah, I trained for 4. And that was enough. I am so glad. I haven't, well, actually 3.5 years. I had quit training, I think in November. It will be a year. No, it's a year now. I quit Prime in November. You're trained where? I trained at Prime. You're such a professional. Your conduct is... Oh, you are so sweet. Thank you. But, one thing I'm not going to do is try to recruit and get people. And I notice a lot, CRST, I heard they were a decent company. I will never be that person that's trying to recruit people to go to where I'm working. I didn't do it with Prime. I didn't do it with BLC. Definitely didn't do it with BLC. They lied to me like motherfuckers. And outright told me as soon. Now, the owner didn't, but his number 2 did. Told me they lied to me as soon as I hung up with my old dispatcher. He goes, are you officially away from Prime? You are now. I said, yeah. And he goes, oh, all the stuff we told you we were going to do for you, we're not going to do for you. You just need to know that. And I don't like that you do YouTube. I don't like YouTubers, blah, 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 blah. And he goes, and if you do this, you're going to get fired. You do that, you're going to get fired, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, really? So it was very unhospitable. I got along with the owner and his wife, but the owner backed up his number too, which you're supposed to. But, you know, I didn't tell him all the shit that was going on. I just said, you know what? I'm not doing it. And I left and I came back. I brought my truck and came back to Prime. And I won't leave Prime again until this truck's paid for, because, you know, it's just easier. I know I will always be able to make my payments at least, if nothing else, you know, and I'll be able to keep my credit square. I'm selling my property in Arizona, not my house, but my 40 acres in Cochise County. And it's surrounded by mountains. It's flipping gorgeous. I got 40 acres for only $29,000. That's what I'm selling it for, y'all. And it is beautiful. It's got a pond on it. It's really nice. But it's in Portal, Arizona, in Cochise County. It's stunning. But I put that up for sale because I'm going to use that to pay off my credit cards and stuff like that. Today, my first day with a small company out of Illinois. Well, I hope it goes really good for you, my dear. Anything being forecasted for trucking to pick up with all these so-called Trump deals. Okay, yes, because of Trump and how he's coming down on immigration, and you can't speak English, you can't be driving a truck and stuff. A lot of these foreign companies are going under, they're folding up. You're seeing all these trucks up for sale. The price of trucks are coming down. You're going to see freight rates go up most likely in the next year. So no, I think it's going to help us. But, you know, also I think we're headed for a Great Depression, though. I mean, we really are. I think things are going to get really hard in the country. You should be with Swift. There isn't. Now, Swift, you know, my parents drove for Swift. Had nothing good to say about them, but it's not the same company it was when they were there. I've heard good things about Swift, but I don't think they're any better than Prime. I think they're the same company. Prime used to be better than Swift, not anymore. I think Prime has a better lease purchase program, but I think Swift trucks are cheaper to lease, not lease purchase. To purchase, they rip you off worse than Prime. Plus, I drive a purple Volvo. You guys seen the Pearl. She's fucking gorgeous. And I got pinups on her and everything else. Swift would want her to be blue. They would, no. Now, if I leave for another trucking company, it will either be for Landstar, which I doubt, because I really don't want to get my hazmat, but it'll probably be for Mercer if I drive a regular truck still, and I'll probably do dry van. Hi, would you like to be my trainer? No, honey. Sorry, Tony, I don't want to be anyone's trainer anymore. And besides, I'm going to start getting a social life again. And if I want to get laid on my truck, it'd be kind of hard if I have a student say, hey, honey, would you go on in the truck stop? Mother trucker wants to get her cookies eaten, you know. The Cookie Monster's here. Time to go. So we don't want to do that. So, anywho, TMI, right? I'll always be off the road. Right? What happened to your RV transport? My RV transport deal I have put off until my truck's paid for, because I don't want this kind of truck payment on me. I'm going to do tow and haul. But I've got to look where the industry's at. Right now they're having a little bit of slow up in the RV deal, but I think it's going to pick back up, especially the worse our economy gets, because people are moving into these things. But you're fixing to see a huge housing crash. It's already hitting Florida big time. California, prices are starting to drop. So we're going to see a huge housing crash. Now, the great thing about trucking, especially reefer truck, hey, the Cookie Monster, you know, I'm waiting for him. If I meet the Cookie Monster, you know, I got some cookies. He's hungry. I'm just kidding, y'all. But anywho, I digress. Um, with the way the market's going, like I said, I think we're going to see a bad recession. I've never bought a house. Oh, wow, I've owned several houses over my lifetime. How many miles on the truck now? I got 220 something thousand miles. So she still has pretty low miles. Well, howdy, honey. Roadshow Trucker, how are you doing, darling? So, but like I said, with the recession, the only thing I would probably stay with reefer in a recession, because people have to eat. People don't have to buy TVs. People don't have to buy blenders. People don't have to buy clothes. You know, I think you're going to see some Goodwill Queens popping up and all that good shit. So, reefers, maybe hauling RVs, something like that. But if we go into a Great Depression or recession, people still have to eat. You might not be hauling every kind of variety, but people will have to eat meats, they'll have to eat produce and stuff like that. You're going to see that industry, although it'll hurt, it won't be as bad as, you know, dry van and stuff like that. Now, some dry van will still be good, but I think the reefer drivers will pick it up. I think you're going to see companies go under. Because you still got to haul canned goods, you still got to haul pastas, you still got to haul things that you can haul in a dry van. You still need tires. There are certain products that you're going to need dry van, but luxuries, I think you're going to see go the way of the dodo. I've always wanted to try, I could not cattle haul. I think that is the most cruel thing. And the chickens, like when I go to some of these plants where they slaughter the birds, it is so horrible. No, toilet paper won't be all that. People be spraying, using sprayers to spray their asses off, trust. And you see them just, their feathers rubbed off. See, I've always homesteaded. I've raised my own beef, called the butcher out to come out there, pop the, you know, I'd throw the cow down or a steer, whatever it was, throw them down some hay and pour a little grain on there. They'd be eaten. The processor would come up, they'd pop them right there, they'd winch them up into the truck, gut them, drop the guts and stuff into a bucket, throw it on the truck, then they would take them off and butcher them. They never suffered. So, you know, when I butchered my own chickens, they didn't suffer. They had a great life until it was over. They didn't know it was coming. They were gone. It was done. You know, I don't think anything should have to suffer. I would want the cattle to see my face. Hey, whatever floats your boat, dog. You know, I see all these people on TikTok. Please, please, please. They're killing us. Well, you shouldn't have went in and invaded their country, killed their children, and then sent them videos as you slaughtered them and you raped their women. And now you're crying because Israel's winning? I have no fucking sympathy. I'm sorry. You know, I don't. You started it, they're finishing it. I support the president in that. I support the military. The only thing that scares me, like I said, I have nephews now that my time as a military wife is done. My kids are all grown. But it's that generation, my kids' generation, and my nieces and nephews that are doing it now, and I think we are headed for World War III. I really do. It's going to be slim if we don't hit it. You know, but at the same time, You know, I can't see anything that I don't support right now. You know, well, no, there are a few things I don't support. You know, I totally support gays, lesbians, trans people. I'm not talking people like Lily Tino. I'm not talking about people like these fake trans ass motherfuckers. You know, I believe there's men and there's women. You're in someone transitioning to be one or the other. There's two genders. I don't believe in this they, them bullshit. I don't believe in any of that crap. But I, I'm sorry. If you're willing to join the military and die for our country, you should be able to fucking serve. Did you see all the military planes that just left the U.S. yet? No, I didn't. And see, that's another thing. We miss all the good shit as truckers. You know, I remember back when I was married, back in, you know, when Desert Storm was going on. You know, I think it started out, if I remember right, started out with Desert Shield. My husband was out in the field for like 30 days. And he was due to come home in a couple days. And I think it was Good Morning America, because all this was heating up over there. And Good Morning America came to Fort Bragg. And we all, you know, wives got invited to go be at the, in their audience and stuff. And they showed our soldiers marching to leave after they had left. They showed it on the screen because it was all hush-hush. And that's how I found out my husband was leaving. I saw it on the news on Good Morning America. And they go, was that your husband? You know, because I was like, that's my husband. And, you know, my friends turned to me and the lady, she put the microphone on my face. And I'm like, fuck you. And that's how I found out. And then, of course, after 9/11, you know, you always knew shit was going down. Can you tell me how you overcome living over the road and not get sick of it? Okay, how do you not? I am sick of it. I have been going so hard. But, you know, I've kind of turned this into my home. As you saw, I got a kitchen sink. I got running water on the truck. You know, I cook on the truck. But when my truck's paid for, and I pay off my rental property in Arizona, and with the other property I'm selling in Arizona, the little over 40 acres, when that sells, I'm paying off all the little debts. You know, and this big rig's paid off, I will turn around. I will not be driving to, even if I'm with Prime or wherever, if I'm with Gulick or wherever, I am not going to be driving like I do now. The winters, I'll go out once every 3 weeks for a 2-day trip, and I'll keep it in like California, Arizona area. And the rest of the year, I'll run pretty hard until I buy my property there in California, and I want to get like 10 acres, 10 acres with a little house, or I'll put a manufactured home or something on it. And then I'm going to be starting a food trailer and stuff like that, and I'm going to go on to RV Tech school just to do it part-time. I don't want to do anything full-time anymore. But no, you really get burnt out, and then I'll haul RVs, you know, and that's how that progression is going to go. It's just one of those things. At my age, it gets harder and harder, and like I said, people are living 15 years less on an average as a trucker. It's hard out here. I do enjoy it, though. I like to drive, I like to go places, but I like going places that I like going. You know, RVs rule. Yeah, I love living in RVs. Oh man, I went and looked at a camper today. You know, a truck camper, a Arctic Fox. I want to get one, but I'm going to buy a brand new one. I want an 1140, and it has a slide on it, goes on the back of your truck. I mean, you wouldn't believe what you can get. They are nice. But because I like overlanding and stuff like that, you can have four-wheel drive on your truck. I'm going to put snorkel gear on my truck where I can go through rivers and stuff like that, and it's nice with one of those campers. But also, I'm getting a fifth wheel where I can go. I'm going to set up like an RV plate, an RV carport and stuff like that, and off-grid deal in Florida on my 8 acres there, where I can take my fifth wheel there, spend a month or two there in Florida, and I'll haul my fifth wheel over there. And also, I'm going to have that same carport a lot there in California, along with my mobile home. And then I'm going to be setting something up in Alaska, because I like going up to Alaska. But when I go to Alaska, I'm going to be just taking my truck camper, my Arctic Fox, because it can be in way sub-zero weather, you know, like 18 below. And now we get much colder than that in Alaska. But I'll build a little cabin up there or something. But I love Alaska. But when I'm doing a lot of traveling for fun, like I know I'm going to go stay on beaches and stuff, I want to have my Arctic Fox camper, because you can just go more places than you can with the fifth wheel. If you are drinking the Northwest, I think you meant driving the Northwest late weekend, or ready for lots of weather. Oh my God, speaking of weather, child. Last night, I ended up, you know, I was only 27 miles. I'm here now in Murillo. I was only 27 miles from my one here. The winds were so bad. My truck started going like this. There was a Love's. I stopped. I didn't finish coming in. I had the time, of course, and I parked. That was it. I mean, it was bad. I did not drive that last 27 miles to check in. Hell no. I ain't even playing. Y'all, blowovers are serious. And I had a blowover early in my career. And it was from a freak straight line wind. That's why I'm still a truck driver, because that usually ends your career. And it blew the cop car off the road that was there. And it was just a freak wind. What was the wind speed? I think they said there were straight line winds. Not when I got blown over. When I got blown over, it was straight line wind. It was 85 and I was empty. And it was a gust. And before that, the winds were like 12 miles an hour. But last night, they were getting up to 110 miles an hour straight line. And even parked here with trucks on my side, my truck still rocked. And I thought, man, it's going to take me right over here at the Loves. And it didn't. So, yeah, it was pretty sketchy. And I asked my dispatcher, did we have any trucks go over yesterday? And she goes, no, but the winds were up to 110 miles. And I was like, shit. You know, so was not lovely at all, y'all. Okay, guys, hit that like button for me. Come on, you can do it. I'm such a dork, y'all. I really appreciate you guys coming on here and spending some time with me. I really do. I went into Snake River in the mountain. Yeah, Snake River in Montana is absolutely gorgeous. There are so many places that I am writing down as a truck driver, because when I start taking a lot of those times off during the winter from driving, I'm going to be getting in my truck camper and stuff and going. And my fifth wheel, because if I buy just a land with well and septic in Cali, and I will not buy my mobile home, manufactured home is what I plan to get, until I can buy it cash, and I'll just put the fifth wheel on the property and live in it for the time being. But I will be taking my truck camper, going to the Redwoods. I'll be going up to Alaska, all kinds of fun things. And I'm really into photography, y'all. Which company you recommend for newbies? And newbie CDL holders for do training over the road. Okay, I would say, if you're going to get your CDL, come to Prime. But they make you sign on for a year, and then you're slave labor. But so does Swift. But that being said, you can quit Prime. But why? Most companies, if they're worth a salt and they're going to pay you anything, it's not going to be until you have a year over the road or two. So I'm hearing honestly, better things about Swift than I am Prime right now. So I might try Swift. I've never worked for Swift. I don't know if they're still doing well. I know they're not doing great. I think they're about like Prime is. But I think their drivers seem to be doing a little bit better. Not sure. Didn't used to be that way. So I really, if it were me, I would not come into trucking right now for anything. It's just not worth it. I used to say, even when we were bad about a year ago, we were making okay paychecks, $1,200, $1,300, $1,800 a week. And I'm kind of doing that now, but I haven't in the past 6 weeks. So I'm going to see what the next so many weeks brings me. I'm just going to have to see. I've been talking to my dispatcher about having her talk to sales. And, we're going to have to see what's going on. But I was always like, if you're single and you're not going to keep an apartment, you don't have a car payment, or you can get rid of your car, you have no debts, yeah, go ahead and come into trucking, and because you're not going to have all these debts and you can save money. But when you're making less than an Uber driver or doing DoorDash, I say go buy a van and convert it yourself, live in the van and do DoorDash, or do medical delivering or something like that where you still don't have a house payment or an apartment. I haven't had an apartment in years. I haven't had an apartment in years either because I've owned my own homes. So anyway, guys, that is just my opinion. Everybody has one. I so enjoyed talking to y'all tonight. I've been having trouble getting my videos to upload. I don't know why. But as long as everything's okay, I'll be that's hurricane speeds. Yeah. Which company do you? Okay. I haven't had it. Okay. It's not the same sleeping through in the truck than in your bed. I like sleeping in my truck. Now, when I have my own home, I do enjoy sleeping in my home, but I rent a room at my mother's place. Nothing wrong with that. Stay safe on the road. Oh, yeah, I plan to. But I got a couple videos that are going to be coming out. Y'all watch them because I am a monetized channel now. They're pretty interesting. The one's going to talk about the past couple loads I did and some stuff happened. And then there's some girls out here that are truck drivers, one's with Prime and one's with Swift. They're earning a little extra money on their downtime. I'll put it that way. I did a video on that. I talked to both of them. I talked to one more than the other. And the one I talked to the most, she was actually a Prime driver. And she's making more in a night than she is in a week at Prime. I'm thinking about cool. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get off here for now, because I got to get a little rest before this load is ready. And thank you, each and every one of you. Did I get any super chats tonight? Nope, no super chats tonight. That's okay. I do appreciate you guys. You guys have a blessed one. Stay safe. Keep the shiny side up. And if you haven't done it yet, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the little bell for the notification. I am grateful to you guys. And yeah, I'll try to do another live here in the next week or so. This went pretty well. I haven't done them in quite a while. So I do appreciate you guys, and you guys have a blessed one. Miss Mother Trucker out. I think I'm out. If I can figure out, it's been so long since I've done one of these, guys. I'm trying to remember how to stop that live. I think